on this computer. Again, for all you newbies, these are our live trading sessions. They go on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Me and Nick just go over everything that we're looking at for the week, potential opportunities that we're getting ready to share with members in the chats and everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just write it into the chat. If you're having trouble setting up Zoom or something like that, feel free to write in the chat or look it up online, whatever. But yeah, how we normally start off is Nick takes a look at DXY. So let's just roll with that.
Yeah, I'm getting right into it. Hell yeah. All right, guys. So let's cut through it, right to it. DXY. We covered yesterday. It was coming down. It was reversing actually from this 98.5 level, right? I've been saying every live trading session, every Sunday market blitz that we want to see, a stable U.S. dollar, right? We want to see that it's ranging between this level. We don't want to see it undervalued. We don't want to see it overvalued, but just where it is now. And this is a good range. This is forming. It's a good range. It's forming good structure, and you'll actually see that throughout all USD pairs. That good structure formation is being formed, and it's allowing the markets to resume some sort of level of normality. So we did see a reverse, some sort of bounce from this 98.5 area. It actually reversed around 98.65 to be exact, which is fine, close enough. We know we were anticipating some sort of potential reversal from this area, and we saw that. And now we're trending upward again on this. This is more of a 1 hour trend within this 4 hour range, which is fine. It's looking really good so far. We could see a play back up to 101. And then once we get to this area, we'll then be looking for, reversals again to the downside and so on. That's if no significant news is present, nothing that's gonna, make the dollar surge or, fall off a cliff. As long as that news is pretty good and there's nothing really disturbing, the market, we should be fine. And we should be seeing good market movement, good ranging, and a stable dollar, which is really nice to see right now. And it's actually forming good opportunities throughout other currency pairs. So we're going to get to that in a second, but this is looking pretty good, right? Nice, strong little trend here. Breaking this 200 EMA. MAs are holding it, getting above this weekly resistance level. So this is good. I'd like to see a little bit of consolidation here. Maybe a little bit of a slowdown of this trend, but still a bullish trend up until this 105 area, potentially all the way to 101 to touch this zone one more time. So looking good so far, guys. DXY is looking nice. This is a good sign. Definitely a good sign. So let's go over to AU. Still waiting on this one to develop on this 4 hour. Looking good so far, right? So we had this push downward after strong rejection from this weekly because we're playing into this daily trend here, which is significantly bearish, right? This 4 hour bullish trend is just a retracement to the 88.6 as well as this weekly resistance level. But if we zoom out, we can see it's very, very bearish, right? So our bias is going to be bearish. We're looking for shorts, especially as we approach this key level, this key resistance level. And then we're simply going to look for the start of a transition on lower timeframes. And we're dropping lower timeframes because we want to catch the beginning of that move. I'm not going to just sit on the daily looking for an entry. That doesn't make sense. And neither does it make sense to enter on the 4 hour. We want to get as close, as precise as possible. So we want to drop down timeframes as we see that confirmation. So my daily confirmation was just this area, this retracement to the 88.6 key level rejection. I saw these two daily bearish candles, so I'm going to drop down, see what I can find on a 4 hour. And that's just how I'm kind of working through it. I'll always keep an eye on the higher time frames. As I get confirmations, I'll drop down time frames so I can get in on a very precise level. So right now we're on the 4 hour, and what I'm waiting for here is basically some bearish setups. I want to see something pushed below this 0.64 area. I want to see a nice bearish engulfing, just drop from this level, some sort of transition. So if we saw this on this 4 hour, this is what it could look like. I want to see this, something like this, and then I'm going to go short. Once it's a confirmed lower high on this 4 hour, bearish setups, break of this level, a retest of this level and this level, maybe a nice wick, some good exhaustion, bearish engulfing, evening star. That's what we want to see currently. And then we could target all the way down towards this 0.602 area. Again, this could play out anywhere in the next day to 2 days. It depends how much consolidation happens at this current level. But I'm keeping an eye on it. This is a good sign so far. We have a little bit of a pullback through these MAs. So it's good structure formation. You can see, look to the left, it's a minor level. Good exhaustion. Evening stars are forming. So we're starting to get some bullish momentum coming into the market here. So this is a good sign. We just need those final confirmations right now before we enter. We're not going to get faked out on this. We're not going to take a trade prematurely. We're waiting for those confirmations and for our rules to be met. So this is looking pretty good so far. AU 4 hour, that's where we're at. I want to bring over to AJ, which is looking very similar. And I was about to take a trade on this last night, right, on the break of this flag. But I kind of wanted to hold off for a second because I didn't think that it was quite ready. But I'll show you what I mean in a second. So daily is super bearish, right? And I'm going to walk you through how I drop down timeframes here. So super bearish on the daily. I saw rejection from the weekly. This huge bearish candle. So then I'm going to drop down. So then I was stalking it on the 4 hour, right, watching. I saw this flag formation happen, right? I'm seeing these minor levels in here. I'll drop to the 1 hour in a second and show you. So I saw this flag forming. So once this flag forms and I start getting these exhaustion, candles, we see the 38.2 being hit. We saw the 50% being hit. We know the 61H right there as well. It's close to it. Once I see this exhaustion in this closure, I'm dropping down time frames. So I'm going to go to the 1 hour. And now I'm looking for a transition on a 1 hour, which is this right here. So we have an engulfing. It's a good sign, followed by another engulfing right off these 200 EMAs. This could be a double top. That's another confirmation in itself. So I saw it break this 1 hour support. Right now it's testing as resistance. These MAs testing again as resistance. And this is, more or less a double top. Again, another confirmation with an evening star in there as well. But I do kind of want to see a closure above these MAs real quick, followed by an engulfing, and then I'm going to enter. That's why I was saying I'm kind of waiting on this 1 hour here. So I want to see, I think this is going to pull back a little bit more, come back to 65.5. And then once I get that set up, that, confirmation, that final confirmation, I'm then going to put a signal out and short the hell out of this, which is a big potential move. So just to give you guys this area here, I want to see it test this right at 68.55 roughly. I want to see it test this right to the MAs, give me some bearish setups, and then I'm in, right? And then we're going to target all the way down to this next support level, about 90 pips away. Let me just clear this up, just so it's a little more easier to read. So, all right, so here we are, right? Not a lower low yet. We do have this double top formation. Did pull through the MAs here. There probably was an entry in here, but the volume just wasn't there yet. I mean, there's decent conviction on this candle. You could have taken an entry, but I want to be a little more conservative on this one particularly because it is AJ. It does like to fake out every now and again. But I'm looking for something like this. So, this would be this first touch here, right? This one is to this one. As this, drop is to this drop. It looks very similar. Pullback, double top, same here, right? Forms. It comes down and tests support one more time, and then it finally gives us that setup before the break. I'm looking for that to happen right in this area. I want to see a nice bearish engulfing, and then we're in, right? So a nice pop up to this area, like I said, 68.55, then a setup, and we're short. So let me show you where the projection is for this trade. So this is the 1 hour projection. We're looking to get down towards this major support zone here at 67.5, right, which is also the negative 27 fib level. So that's the first part of this trade. Once we get those confirmations, we're going to target down to here. And then we're going to look to play into this 4 hour trend, which is a much larger move, much larger move. I mean, this is very consistent with AU as well. But so the first part of the trade is play it down to this support level, 67.5. And then we're looking for 4 hour transition. So I want to see this level break, come back, form a lower high, confirm the lower high with strong bearish setups, and then you could re-enter. So, you would be then risk-free on this first trade, and then we re-enter with another 1 or 2%. So now you have, a lot more potential for profit. You're maximizing your potential profit. And then we're going to target way down to this major support level around 64.75. So I want to show you on the daily again what this looks like, right? If this plays into the 4 hour bearish trend, the daily bearish trend, then we could see this very easily come down to 64.75 and potentially lower. But it's still a ways away. Once we do get to this area, we'll reanalyze and put out our recommendations and scenarios and how it could play out. So right now it's looking very, very good. Good sign.
Yeah, this thing looks like it's gonna dump.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what that's the projection. So we're looking to get on this very soon. This could play out in the next, few hours to the next day. So we'll be watching, and we're definitely going to put out a signal on this thing. Look at all this exhaustion here, guys. Like a lot of indecision. This is good consolidation on a 4-hour. Just by looking at the daily, you can see that there's 4-hour consolidation happening, right? It broke these MAs on the daily. Now it's rejecting these MAs significantly. We could see some serious movement in the next few hours, pushing this pair down. And remember, AJ moves the most, so this is going to be a pretty swift move if we do see that conviction, especially on a 4-hour or daily. So just be aware of that. This should definitely be on your radar. And as always, we'll be putting out analyses and signals as we see this develop. So looking pretty good so far. Looking very good, right? Just waiting for that final confirmation, and then we're in. I love this flag, though. This was freaking phenomenal right here. But anyway, let's keep going. What else we got for you guys? EU's up next. This one was kind of annoying. I wanted to see a little bit more of a pullback, a little bit more of a, consolidation at this level that, was showing a retest. I would like to see a push through these MAs, a test of this, the structure level consolidation, and then some bearish setups. It still could pull back. Definitely could pull back a little bit, but as the way that DXY is moving, if it keeps going up to the 100 handle, EU is just going to keep falling out here. And we could see it come all the way to this monthly, about 270 pips away from our entry, around 1.09. But I still want to see a pullback. I'm not going to enter on this because you don't just enter a trade because it's just dropping. That doesn't make any sense, right? We want to see our rules met. We want to see something that makes sense, something that a logical trade that sticks to our plan, sticks to our rules. So I want to see this pop up. This would be so nice to see a nice quick pullback, a little bit consolidation, some, confirmed lower high, nice fib level hit in here, lower time frame, and then bearish setups on 1 hour, 4 hour, and then we're in. Then we're shorting the hell out of this. And then this is going to look, we're looking to play it down to the monthly, So here we are on the 4 hour. I did start out on the daily on Sunday. And then, this was the analysis here. We wanted to see it pop up. It popped up to here. It rejected. And then on Sunday, I said, we want to see confirmations pushing this pair lower. So that's why we were still on the daily. We saw these bearish variations come into play. That's why I'm now, allowing myself to drop down to the 4 hour and now look for further confirmations. Because again, we're always trying to get enter at the most precise level. I'm not going to just say, oh, here's a daily engulfing, I'm in. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You want to, there's so much data in here that you're not even allowing yourself to view. That's why you want to drop down. Now we're looking at 4 hour candles. Still a lot of data in each candle here, but I want to see a confirmation, a nice bullish candle up to this area. Then I'm going to drop to the 1 hour, right? Then I'm looking for 1 hour confirmations and then 30-minute confirmations, and then we're in on the trade. So that's just how, you want to break it down. There always should be some sort of steps involved when you're looking to enter a trade, and that's where we're at now. So we're at the second stage. We're looking for that 4 hour confirmation, and then we'll drop down. All right, so that's EU. Let's check out EJ for a second. Very similar. Again, it has a nice leg down, kind of overextended on a 1 hour. If you would drop down, you'll see that's just a giant bearish trend, right? Very steep channel. I do want to see this pop up. We want to see that pullback. We want to see that structure formation. These MAs are holding so steadily on this 1 hour here. I just want to see any sort of break, any sort of structure formation. And you never want to just see a pair go in one direction here. So this is a good sign. It broke the floor on this here. So it says that there's way more bears in the market, and at this support level, this minor support level, I don't even have it highlighted, but you can just see it tested multiple times here. That this level was not significant enough to hold these bears. So this is a good sign so far. I just want to see a pullback, just for the sake of fibs. Let me throw a 4 hour fib on this. I want to see a pullback to this structure level. So 38.2 is here, which kind of lines up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm going to move this level down.
Just 4 hour.
So 38.2 is right here. We could see a pullback to here, or the 61.8, which is right here. Right, a pullback to either of these levels would be good, followed by nice bearish engulfings. It comes through the MAs, forms structure, gives us those setups, and then boom, we're in. No doubt that we're in. So we're on the 4 hour for this as well, because we saw those confirmations in the higher time frame. Now we're waiting for those 4 hour confirmations. I want to see this 4 hour structure form, get that exhaustion, get those bearish engulfings, bearish variations, anything that's going to hint at some sort of bearish conviction and a continuation. Then we're shorting this. And this is like 445 pips to the weekly support. So this could be a massive trade. absolutely gigantic, and it's a 2.56 risk to reward. So risking 1% to get 2.5% roughly. So this would be a really good trade. I'm getting rid of this because nothing is showing bullish
Yeah.
setups here.
Tips for swing trade. So obviously Nick's on the 4 hour and he's waiting for the pullbacks to 4 hour potential lower high. So he's using his fibs on the 4 hour, the higher time frame. He's waiting to see when it actually pulls back for retracement. So 4 hour, we're looking to enter on those retracements, and then we're looking to go down to the 1 hour and 30 minute. And he obviously has some sort of entry rules that he's using on those time frames to get
Absolutely.
in. He's not just shorting on exactly the 4 hour. So,
Right.
so
So
yeah,
once this pulls
that's
back, once it pulls back to this area and it, whether it shows a wick at, one of these golden fib levels, I'll then drop down. As soon as it gets to this area, I know I can anticipate potentially, some sort of reversal, some sort of bearish setup. So then I'll drop down to a 1 hour once we get to those areas. And then I'm just looking for those 1 hour setups, 1 hour and 30-minute setups that I could then enter on. So a nice pullback, right? Consolidation, bearish setups. Maybe you get 2 bearish engulfings in a row. Drop down 30-minute and then start entering. And then, protect ourselves with a trade that makes sense. Good risk to reward, a minimum 2 to 1. And then a logical take profit and stop loss level, because you're not just going to draw your stop loss anywhere. I'll break this down real quick. I'm choosing this as my target because it's the next weekly support. We're playing from this monthly level down to this weekly level. That's where that's just how I'm calculating this TP. And then my stop loss is outside this lower high here, so I'm protected. Because if price action comes back up to this level and breaks this lower high, this could then be hinting at a 4-hour bullish trend, in which case this trade would be invalid. So we're sticking to the bias, the overall sentiment, which is very bearish, and that's why I have this as a my projection. So we're looking to short this, and yeah. So just looking for those setups, guys. Always just looking for those setups. We're on the 4-hour. We're getting closer and closer to that entry. So these are all good signs. Very good signs. All right, let's keep going. I got gold for you guys. So still more consolidation. Still very bullish. Nothing in here says bearish at all. This is the 4-hour. We know that the weekly, daily, super bullish, so we don't have to cover that. We're just trying to focus on this 4-hour area right now. So we have a lot of consolidation. It's not really forming any new structure. It hasn't broken any structure. We're just consolidating, waiting for some sort of confirmations to figure out where this is going to go. This trade is still valid. Still waiting for a break of this resistance at 17.15, followed by a confirmed higher low with bullish setups. And I'm going to enter on any 1-hour conviction that I see. Because once this breaks on the 4-hour, right? Let's say we see a huge engulfing candle. We see large bullish candles pushing price action above this 17.15 area. As soon as it gets to here, I'm dropping time frames. I'm dropping to the 1-hour and I'm looking for that higher low, right? And once I get rejection from this 17.15 area, once it's confirmed with bullish setups like that, engulfing, Morningstar, exhaustion, I'm entering on that. And then we'll target up to the 1800 handle, 3.5 risk to reward. So again, risking 1%. If it's a 1% trade, we're risking 1% to potentially get 3.5, which is a huge freaking trade. So this could really pay out if we do see those confirmations. So, I mean, we have no reason to look at any short opportunities on gold right now. Everything is saying it's bullish, and we're just going to stick to that bias because we're trend traders, and that's what yields the highest probability trades.
Yeah, it definitely needs to break this 1 hour though.
Right? Yeah, no, it does. It needs to get up here. I'm not looking to enter on it until it gets up into this area and then gives us some confirmations. So looking good so far. Definitely looking interesting. I always like taking a look at gold. It moves in its own way. It's very unique. So it's it's good to have on the list, guys. Definitely good to have on your watch list. Keep an eye on
Oh
it.
yeah, no. See, gold 4-hour. 4-hour structure is definitely bullish. I mean, it's forming this like flag type channel
Yeah,
right now.
it's kind of
It's ranging
it's like
within
a
this
fan on
area.
it.
It's got some lower highs in there, which is not cool. But go up to the daily time frame.
Got its own thing going on. So we're just waiting on that. Yeah, super bullish. Super bullish. It's
Mm.
holding steady at this monthly. Like, look at all this daily
Oh
exhaustion.
yeah.
Crazy. It's very
Oh,
strong. This
as
is more.
as we're just looking at this, just look, that level that Nick has placed, that monthly, is a previous higher high,
Yep,
previous high that's being respected right now.
very well.
So we'll see what happens. It's the previous high 38.2. And yeah, so we're gonna wait for the confirmation. In this daily time frame, the last 3 days haven't given us any sort of conviction that it's ready to push bullish yet. It's actually crossing the moving averages, which is why we're getting this downward movement back into this zone.
Yep.
We need to pop up. The daily needs to break as the daily forms that bullish engulfing that he is looking for. That's what's going to be that lower time frame break that we need, the 1 hour.
Exactly. And that's where we're going to drop down time frames and start looking for those entries.
Yeah.
So
That's why you don't necessarily got to sit on the lower time frame, guys. Just sit. This daily tells you everything you need to know, and if you know time frame, time frame correlation, multiple time frames, what you're looking for, like what it all means, you can just sit here, be don't have to, be impatient about it. And when it shows you what you need to see, that's when you can bump down and get ready for entry.
absolutely. So quick recap, guys. I covered DXY for you. Ooh, I'm going to zoom out. DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ. Oh, this is like it's going to pull back right now. A little bit of exhaustion. So this is a good sign so far on the daily to see it pull back. Also covered EJ and gold. And now I'm pass it off to Angelo, and he's going to cover some of his pairs, some more majors.
Cool. Yeah, let's take a look. So I'm gonna go over the major pairs, how to set up stop loss and swing trading. So we like to use bump down to the lower time frames when swing trading and look for those breaks and retests and those transitions in the lower time frame. So we're trying to put our stop losses above either its lower highs or higher lows,
Right here.
structure levels.
Yeah.
We're trying to
So
put them above. Yeah,
right.
we're trying to put them above structure levels on the lower time frame. Like Nick has right here, lower time frame fell out of that channel. He's got the 200-day moving average there, which protects us. I'm sure if you bump down to the 30-minute, like there's structure that's forming there. So we're just trying to put that, yeah. So he's at if that level breaks of structure that just had formed, to the left, then realistically we want to bump up time frames, like reevaluate where we're at. Look at the 1 hour. 1 hour is still bearish, but it's pulling back more than we'd like it to. So we got to see what it's going to respect on there. So indicators that we're using the 18 EMA, I believe, or what is
Here.
it? 18
EMA 8, MA 18, EMA 200. So I'll show you. This is the black one. 200 is black one here. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. EMA 8, red one. See it? And then the MA 18 is blue.
Yeah, those are the only indicators that we use because they're not based on some crazy, whatever.
No, they're averages. It's the average of price action over these periods.
Yeah.
18, 8, and 200.
We trade with price action, so we're using indicators that tell us more about the way that we're trying to enter and the way that we're trying to trade.
Right. What other questions we got here? Let me see. DXY breaks gold break 710. See, I can't tell you how much gold's going to move, relative to DXY, but I know they're inversely correlated. But the thing is, they are both safe havens, so they're both in demand. Gold's not just going to start dropping because because USD is rising. A lot of people are actually, switching over to gold because it's more certain right now. Considering all the fundamentals that are happening in the world, so. It's tough to say. We've been seeing USD push up and then gold will just consolidate. It won't necessarily just drop, but it'll consolidate as USD rises, which is definitely, different, from the past because we used to see that they were way more inversely correlated. If you saw a huge rally in US dollar, you would see a pretty big drop off in gold. But over time, that's as gold has become more in demand, that's just not the case anymore. Okay, cool. So, Angelo, it's up to you. Check your
up on. I'll stay on this screen here. We'll go here. All right, cool. So we're gonna start with the UJ. Little trade yesterday. We went over this in the live session. This trade wasn't signaled though for you guys. I'm gonna go over in a second why. But basically, let's bump up UJ to the 4 hour. So UJ has been in this daily bearish trend for quite some time. We got the moving averages crossed, pointing down. We're continuing to just fall, in this area. Let's bump to the 4-hour now. 4-hour, as we talked about, is bearish, form this low, lower high, low. This was that lower high that we were waiting on, 618, got this red zone up here, multiple confirmations. We weren't entering there, we were waiting. We were waiting to see entry. In order to see entry, we have our higher time frame confirmed. So like we just talked about, we'll bump down, bump down, 30-minute time frame, boom. 30-minute, this is what I was looking at. 30-minute had broken bullish. It had broken this level right here, boom, broke above here, formed a new high, made a higher low, failed at this point to make a new high. Then we dropped below. This was the break of structure. This was the break of structure on the 30-minute. This was the first entry opportunity, up in this area, pretty much right where I entered. This was because our entry rules is like wait for the bearish engulfing through the moving averages, like wait for momentum to shift, that higher low to really form. And right here is where the moving averages crossed, came through, boom. I entered right at this point right now. I didn't put out this as a signal though, because a couple different reasons. Mainly because this weekly level right here, this weekly support level, in my opinion, is major. This is a weekly support level is major, which definitely, in my opinion, lowers the probability of this trade pretty drastically. So ideally, we wanted to wait for it to break below here, which now we see that it is. We see that it's breaking below here, which is good. Basically, the next move will be, let's bump up to the 1-hour. Obviously, in this 4-hour fib, we got our projection. We have our projection here, that we're looking to get to. This was definitely a previous lower high. That's where my stops were. I just moved stops to break even now. So we're just managing this risk-free. So next move with this trade, next move is it could continue to fall off. We could see some consolidation back to this level, a little bit of a retest. If we scroll out a little bit more, this is a key level on UJ. About 105,750 is a good level. That's ultimately where I'm projecting this trade to get me a good risk reward. And if we look, it's based on this resistance support, right here. That's what it's based on. So I'm looking for it to continue to fall. So really no entries on UJ unless we do pull back and form. We pull back enough for this. We pull back through the moving average like this. We get that bearish engulfing right in here. Boom, bump to the lower time frame. Look for entry. But I'm just going to continue to just maintain this trade. So that's UJ. Let's bump over to UCAD, which is obviously starting to bump up right now. Let's go up to the daily time frame. So daily time frame, everything that's going on, let's just talk about it. We're within this range, we're within these two red levels. These were lower highs that formed previously, fell off. We popped up, we tested this level, popped up, then we had a little bit of consolidation here. I'm sure on the lower time frame, this is some sort of flag or something, or it doesn't look exactly like that, but basically the way that I'm looking at this is I'm basing everything on the 4-hour right now. I'm looking at 4-hour structure. The 4-hour is bearish, for me. Originally, this was the level that I was looking for this to come to, 78.6. We had all of this. We had all of this happen. I'm going to show you in a second. I wasn't on this pair. I wasn't bumping to the lower time frames after all of this. This 1, 2, 3, 4. This isn't exactly any sort of variation. Until we get this candle, then it's like, okay, let's see. And then this bullish candle, this bearish candle, let me highlight, look at the exhaustion on that. But that called me to bump down to a lower time frame to see at least what was going on. And inevitably what the problem with taking this trade is we're not at a key level. We're not at a key level right now. We're really just using this 30-minute structure, which isn't that strong for us. And say we had taken an order like in this area, this pullback, through the moving averages, kind of sticks to our rules, to be completely honest. We would have gotten stopped out, which is okay. But I didn't take this trade, but I just personally am thinking about if I was looking more closely, like what would have called me to potentially exit, or why wouldn't I have taken this trade? And I mean, really, on this 30-minute, this transition isn't too bad. This transition isn't too bad, but as we bump up to the 1 hour, we can clearly see no 1 hour levels have broken, structural levels. And I mean that by we made this high, look at the moving averages they crossed, came back down. All these levels are not breaking any sort of 1 hour action there. If we bump back up to the 4 hour, again, this just does not look pretty for me. Does not look strong for me. At this point now, considering we're not in order, I am still looking to short this, but not at the moment. So what I'm going to wait for is a retest again of this high. We'll see, wait for some bearish pressure. I'm going to sit on this 4 hour time frame. So I'm going to bump this back up. I'm going to sit on this 4 hour time frame. I see long for UCAD. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. If UCAD for me breaks above here, then I'm going long. But at the moment, like, I'm not exactly trying to long into this, because this could just fall really dramatically. I could see something similar to right here. Climbs, to this level, retest these highs, all the way back up to this level up here, boom. And yeah, if you want to potentially take longs into this huge resistance level, I'm definitely putting that out there for you guys as well. Because if we look at the 30-minute, 30-minute just transitioned bullish. Made a new high, need to make a new high or low. But I'm just personally basing on this daily time frame. Look at this daily time frame. Came to this level, fell. Came to this level, fell. I'm looking for it to come back up in here and fall again. So I'm going to be patient on UCAD. I'm going to stay with the overall bias here. We've got supply zone. If I really want to bring this on as well, up in here. So a lot of bearish confluence up in this area that I'm looking to take advantage of and hopefully get in on this overall move and watch this thing friggin' plummet for us. So that's UCAD. Let's go over to NU. NU has been in consolidation mode. Let's go to the daily time frame. So daily time frame on NU is we had this low formed, we're within this fib. We've got this daily time frame making, riding this moving average, climbing up, a little bit. We just retested this resistance level. For me, structure is still bearish. We've gotten no pullbacks through the moving average, no crossing here. This is just bouncing off of it. So still looking for this to make a lower high right now. Earlier in the week, we had this daily bearish evening star right here. So we had this evening star form, which is why I was down on the 1 hour trying to check things out. The 1 hour has not broken structure. Is it a head and shoulders pattern? Yeah, the 1 hour has not broken structure. I guess you can say left, head, right. That's not bad, actually. So the 1 hour has not broken structure yet. At this point, it's consolidating a fuck ton now, and I've had this analysis just plotted on here. I'm pretty much just waiting for it to break below this level. We're getting this. This is significant for me. We're getting these pullbacks, moving average cross, pullbacks, moving average cross, pullback. Pulling through the moving average. So if I can break below this support level here, get that retest, maybe even take some sort of breakout style entry, I'm going to definitely signal UCAD and try to short. So or NU, I mean. So let's see, let's plot this much like this. But again, we need this confirmation. I'm just waiting. I'm not trying to predict that anything's going to happen. We'll see. That this is my idea. If we do see a break below here, I'm going to short, and then inevitably on this 4 hour time frame, on this time frame, I need this to break above this red zone. I'm not per se trying to long and do anything yet on this 4 hour time frame, even though on the 4 hour it does look bullish. We made this new high. Now we're in this area retesting the support level. I am sticking to my daily. I am sticking to my daily time frame. I'm really pushing this bias on me right now, but I'm waiting for the lower time frame. I'm waiting for this to confirm. Look at this. This is that 1 hour trend, high, higher, low, high, higher, low, high. Now we made this higher low right here. We'll see if we can break below these levels, then I'm going to go short. And then like he said, I guess we can call this head and shoulders.
It's more of a 4-hour HNS. I covered this yesterday, the other day actually.
Yeah, I guess we can call that, head and shoulders
A
right
little
there.
more clear there too.
Boom. Yeah, so we got
good.
some sort of head and shoulders forming on there. So we can see what happens with that. Obviously this is the right shoulder looking for opportunities, on these breaks. And, the way that I see it is we're getting a lot of exhaustion right now, a lot of exhaustion, in this area. So we will see what happens. That is NU sticking on this, higher time frame. Let's go to GU. Oh, this is looking perfect. All right. So daily time frame, GU, we are getting exactly what we need right now. So we're on the weekly. We've been bouncing off this weekly resistance level. Boom, boom. Closed here. This candle last week closed below. Failed to engulf. That was key indication for me that sellers are still in control. Daily time frame. We had this double top up in here. I wouldn't exactly call this a head and shoulders. We were looking originally at this as a head and shoulders, but it popped up too much, popped up too far. So now it's just pretty much like double top in this area. And then we had this bearish candle. Now we're waiting. Let's go to the 4-hour. All the way down to this 4-hour time frame. This is how I see the 4-hour. We have a high, we have this higher low, then we climb to this new high. But I'm going to continue to cycle down because this daily is giving me what I really need to see. So on this 1 hour, this is what I'm looking at. 1 hour made a high, made this higher low, made a high, retested, actually had a little bit of a fake out here, right here. But inevitably retested this level, broke higher. Now what happened? We just broke below. We just broke below significant structure. Boom. Like Nick talks about, waiting on the retest. Get that retest, that next lower high. Even if we go cycle to the 30-minute, like we could enter now. Don't get me wrong. And if we entered now though, we need our stops to be all the way like up here. Your stops to be at like 70 pips. So if we entered, we would just have to reduce our lot size like significantly, as opposed to if we continue to retest and get up to like these levels, then our stops are going to come down and we can capture, a better risk reward and put a bigger percentage on this trade, or not a bigger percentage, but just have a bigger lot size for the percentage that we want to trade. And then as you can see, where I'm looking to project this to go is I'm looking for this to come back down to these support levels. If I drag this across, this is pretty much what it's retesting right now. This was like a previous level that I had placed on here. This is a 1 hour support and resistance, boom, resistance, resistance, resistance. It's bouncing off of that right now. So it's not doing anything that we don't expect it to do. Up on this 4-hour level, drag this across. All this starts to become more relevant for us. So I'm going to bring this into the picture, drag this across. That's where I would potentially be targeting this 4-hour level, 4-hour support level. So we're getting what we need to see right now. 4-hour moving averages across, 1 hour broke structure. Let's just wait for the pullback. Let's wait for the pullback. If we get this is what we're looking for. We are looking for, see if I can do this. Ghost feed, is that what it is?
Oh, bars pattern.
Oh, bars pattern.
Ghost feed's the botched one.
Bars pattern. So if we can get something similar to this, might not be as dramatic. But if we can get a pullback, retesting this level, and then we get similar to here through the moving average, boom, through the moving average, boom. That's our entry. That's our entry, and then we could use our stops above that level. That's what I'm talking about, like 50 pips or so with the stops. And GU. Yeah, this is playing out nicely for sure. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna look for an entry on this. I'm gonna actually drop this in the premium analysis. SD short opportunity. Boom. Cool. And obviously yesterday, I posted in the live session UJ. It was the same thing. We broke the same thing as GU, except it was a little further along. Like the entry was already had been there. We broke below support right here. retest through the moving averages, and then, pretty much we waited a little bit longer. That's how it played out. Got in on an entry more down in this area on this. This was all the way down in the 15-minute that I got an entry on. So yeah, that's yesterday. This is today, GU. We're going to see how this one plays out over the next 12 hours or so. Got my ghost pattern on there. So I'm going to bring this one up. Boom, bring this up to the top. And then last pair, let's go in to USEF. USEF is coming back for us. It's coming back. It might give us another short opportunity, USEF. This thing is freaking just printing pips for us.
But notice how similar this looks to DXY, guys. So we had that huge speculative rally all the way to the left, a huge bullish rally, right? And then we have consolidation. It's kind of bouncing between this range now. So that's, consistent with US dollar and USEF here. So it's very similar, very similar. And we could see a definite reversal from like this 200 EMA area, 100% retracement.
Right. So this is what we're basing structure on, daily structure. Got this 88.6 hit here, then this lower high formed here. Now we're back up in that area. We can bump down to the 4 hour. 4 hour has broken this for me, which is significant. This is just a healthy retracement. Obviously this is pulling up pretty far now. It shows how much, how many buyers were in this area and how much bullish pressure there was from this area, from all the way at this 9,600 level, all the way down to here. But basically, all I'm waiting for now, I have my entry zone for people that are like in the course. I talk about entry zones, but all I'm waiting for now is an area with multiple confirmations. So this was our break, obviously retested, didn't find much support. This for me is a supply zone. I'm going to actually move this. This for me is a supply zone right here based on this bullish wick, body of this bearish candle. I'm going to actually adjust this fib. So we're at the top. We're at the top. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. We're at the top of this fib level. We can drag this across again. Boom. We're looking to see how it reacts in this area. We're looking to see how it reacts in this zone. Previously had these huge wicks grabbing out of the supply zone. I don't know if we're going to pull all the way from there this time. I think this is going to make another like lower high. It's going to continue. We can bring in, we don't really use trend lines too much, but we can bring in this trend line. We've got point A here, point B here, drag it across. We'll see if it can maintain this. There's a lot of confluence here to be bearish, guys. And on the other side, if we start to zoom up and go bullish, it doesn't matter. Like, then we'll just look at the daily time frame, we'll bump up and we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see what happens. But I am looking to see something similar to this. I'll bring this out again. If we can start to form like this is really what we're looking for. Get like a little bit more of a pop up, retest with a nice like wick like this, and then we start to consolidate, start to get these bearish engulfings. Then I can go to the 30-minute and like very comfortably take trades. Then I can comfortably take trades based on what I know. So that's USEF. I'm gonna wait for this one to play out. Obviously sticking to the higher time frame on this one. So we've got a lot of good positions coming up. There's a lot of good positions, and we were patient. We were patient earlier this week. Monday I entered on this one position very early, which was okay. I still thought it was high probability, but we entered with, low risk, 1% risk. So I'm not, bothered by that trade. I already recouped that for me personally, in the UJ trade, I already recouped that. So, one position at a time. If things are not clear, like right now, we're talking about things with a lot of clarity. If they're not clear, then just literally come back, in one more day and let things continue the market continue to make structure and to breathe a little bit, so that you can come back and say, oh, now I see structure is like at a level and stuff like that. Like earlier this week when structure was down here, when it opened up and went bullish, like I wasn't running to the charts like, I'm going to buy. Because I have no rule for that. Like right now, like I don't have anything tested where I'm buying against the overall trend. Like, I'm not trying to do that. If anything, I was trying to wait for it to break below here and
Right.
sure, you know what I'm
Stick with
saying?
the overall bias.
Yeah, so now this pulled back into my zone with my analysis, and I can forecast a very, very nice idea, and I'll wait till it plays out, and that's pretty much it. So that's all I have for you guys. You know, this is my watch list. Went over all the major pairs. I'm not going to look at GJ today because I'm not even going to trade GJ. Um, but yeah, I'll post. You know, for those guys in the signals, I got it on the $1 promotion. That it's closed now. The $1 promotion is closed, so it's all filled up. Thanks everybody for participating in that, and that's pretty much it. You know, we'll put out some signals. This is recorded. It's going to be on YouTube. You guys can, you know, go back, check. There's a lot of lessons in these, you know, a lot of nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Us just chopping up and going over the charts. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
So, yeah, thank you guys again. You know, we covered 15 plus pairs here. If you guys want to review this, you know, this is going to be posted on YouTube, as he said, but it's also posted in Discord in the free analysis channel. So definitely get in on that. And thank you guys again. You know, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and happy trading.
Yeah, no, tomorrow we're going to do this again, Thursday, 9 a.m. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.